The Somalia National Army have killed 5 Al-Shabaab militants and injured 3 others in Lower Shebelle, Army sources say. These operations have been largely successful in weakening the extremist group, which has been responsible for numerous attacks on civilian and government officials. In the latest operation, which took place in Lower Shebelle, the Somalia National Army killed 5 Al-Shabaab militants and injured 3 others. The militants were reportedly hiding in the area and had been planning to carry out attacks on civilians and government officials. Major Nur Mohammed Gabo, who was in charge of the operation, stated that Somalia National Army also conducted similar operations in Oudegle, Johar, and Eibutei. These operations were aimed at rooting out Al-Shabaab militants who had been hiding in the area. The Somalia National Army has been stepping up its efforts to combat Al-Shabaab, which has been waging a deadly insurgency in the country for years. The extremist group has been responsible for a series of high-profile attacks, including bombings and assassinations, targeting civilians and government officials. Despite the challenges faced by Somalia National Army, the country's security forces have made significant gains in the recent months. The government has been working to rebuild capacity of the army and has received support from international partners in this regard. As the Somali National Army continues to target Al-Shabaab militants and their bases, it is hoped that the security situation in the country will improve and that civilians will be able to live in peace and security. The ongoing efforts of the government and its international partners to build the capacity of the Somali National Army are vital in this regard and will hopefully lead to lasting peace and stability in the country. Elsewhere, approximately 6 mortar shells were fired at a recently liberated town of Haradere on Wednesday night. No casualties were reported so far. The mortars struck residential areas, according to the federal government representatives in the town, but they did not mention any potential casualties. Al-Shabaab typically conducts such attacks on villages and towns under the control of the government, including the capital Mogadishu, although no one has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. In a joint military operation last Thursday, the Somali National Army and local forces killed 60 Al-Shabaab militants in an effort to disrupt the militants' attempts to reassemble nearby. One of their biggest victories since beginning an offensive against the group last year came in January when Somalia's government-led forces seized Haradere and neighboring town of Gal'ad. Up until 2011, Haradere was a significant base for pirates stealing merchant ships. Al-Shabaab later took control of it after first rebelling against the government in 2007 and swearing allegiance to Al